Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another round of sound. This is the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Bob Pompeani. Thanks so much for joining us. We certainly hope all of you are safe and healthy out there and doing your best in terms of social distancing, as are we here at this program and at this station. KDKA has been on top of that, which is why I'm here in the studio, and our two guests tonight, as they have been for the past couple of weeks, are not here. They're in different locations. Rich Walsh, my colleague here at KDKA, in the cozy confines of his home, and Andrew Fillipponi from 93.7 The Fan, who does an outstanding job on talk radio. He is at the station there on top of Green Tree. So we welcome you. We have a lot to get into tonight, including Sidney Crosby, the winner of 3 different categories in a vote of his peers. 588 hockey players voted. We'll have the results and we'll debate some of that. We'll also get into football without fans. Could that happen? The #1 topic tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown, however, will be the Steelers as they move closer to a draft. And we'll be leading up to the draft as we do every single day. Rich has an eye on the draft preview. But I want to talk about running backs because, Andrew, this week we'll start with you. Kevin Colbert came out and pretty much suggested that he's confident in James Conner. We've heard that before, but he also said it's his job basically to create competition and options. So what does that mean to you? And should the Steelers draft with a 49th pick overall, their first, a running back?
Well, you know, I'm no Sherlock Holmes, Bob, but to me, it's a clue that they're not settled at running back. I don't hear Kevin Colbert using words like options, alternatives, competition as far as Ben Roethlisberger goes and the quarterbacks behind him. If James Conner is really entrenched, if they really believe in him as their running back, then why is Kevin Colbert using words like that? It's because I believe, and look at all the mock drafts for the Steelers, not the mock drafts from guys in Bristol, Connecticut, and who knows where. The Pittsburgh beat writers are all saying the Steelers are taking a running back in the 2nd round, and I don't think that's by accident, Richie. I think it's because they're smart. They've been talking to Steelers people. They know running backs are on their radar.
I think it's a running back in the 2nd round for the Steelers, and this offseason has really told me that. If they did not address the running back position during free agency, Devonta Freeman's still out there. No one's signing him. If they don't address the running back during free agency, they're going to address it during the draft, whether it's in the 2nd or 3rd round, their 1st or 2nd pick. I think they draft a running back. There's a lot of good ones out there, and there's going to be a lot of good ones that'll be available in the 2nd round. Young running backs, and you know how they like to draft guys that are coming out early. So if they don't try to go out and sign someone during this free agency period, which is, Colbert said they're done, then I think one of their first 2 picks will definitely be a running back.
They have a lot of other needs. I will point this out to you. It's the first time since 1967 the Steelers did not have a running back who had 500 yards. However, if you look at the yards per carry, not bad for James Conner. He was injured, 4.0. Not bad for Benny Snell football, 3.94, but they just didn't get a lot of work there. So we'll see how that goes, but they do have other needs, and I want to get into that right now. Rich, one of them is offensive line, I feel, because they have an aging offensive line. They saw Ramon Foster move on, and next year you're going to see Villanueva, Filer, and Banner all be eligible for free agency. They got to make some moves there. How important is that versus running back?
You know what? I think it's important, and I think it'll be one of their first picks as well. I think it's going to be one of these 3. It's going to be running back, wide receiver, or tackle, potentially outside linebacker in there too. Those are going to be the 4 needs for the Steelers. And yes, they do have to go out and get some depth right now. They don't really have depth at tackle. They do have Zach Banner. They like Zach Banner a lot. He was a restricted free agent, and they picked up his option. He'll be back, and he'll be a backup. But they have no one Chukwuekorfor for. He potentially could be a guard of the future. So, yeah, I think that they're going to maybe address tackle. There's a couple guys out there in the draft. This Ezra Cleveland from Boise State, it's a guy that they talked to, and he's a guy that you might be able to get in the middle rounds.
Well, I know that I don't feel as good about developing offensive linemen, Bob, now that Mike Munchak's gone. And I used to believe with them that they could use a late-round pick, or in the case of guys like Alejandro Villanueva, undrafted. But they had a teacher who could school them, bring them along, and turn them into a productive player. They don't have that guy anymore. I don't think Sweet Feet, as he goes by, their offensive line coach now, is seen around the league as that kind of great offensive line coach. So I think eventually they are going to have to invest in that position. Wisniewski has started for 2 out of the last 3 Super Bowl champs. He's a starter, in my opinion. And then it comes down to, at right tackle, is it Chooks, who you used a pretty high draft pick on, or Zach Banner, that got a lot of playing time last year? Their offensive line, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't have an excuse. It needs to get better. When you have guys like DeCastro and Pouncey, what they did last year was unacceptable. It has to improve in 2020. It better improve in 2020.
Yeah, mock draft also had an interesting one. Todd McShay this week said the Steelers would look at and maybe select Jacob Eason with that 49th pick, a quarterback out of Washington. We've heard Jalen Hurts. Pony, I know how you've been trying to get Jameis Winston to sign here, but to me, that's extremely unlikely to draft a quarterback in the second round, Rich. That makes no sense to me. I think the focus has to be on right here, right now, this year and next, assuming Roethlisberger's going to be healthy for those next 2 years. They have to operate under that assumption. Why would you draft a quarterback, your first pick overall, number 49? That doesn't make any sense to me. Does it to you?
Not only unlikely, but ridiculous. I had multiple conversations with people over the Steelers, including Kevin Colbert, who flat out said he likes his quarterback room. So he would be a liar if they go out and draft a quarterback early on. I do not think it happens. Plus, Jacob Eason, he's a project guy. He doesn't fit in. He's not going to fit into this room. So Mason Rudolph, a guy that they still like and still think is going to be the backup, is going to be looking over his shoulder. And I just don't see him fitting in. And we know Ben Roethlisberger, he didn't like the fact that they drafted Mason Rudolph. What is he going to think if they draft Jacob Eason? I don't see it being a fit, even though they compare Eason to Ben Roethlisberger. And I think that's why some of these draft experts are trying to create that there. And you see it once. We saw McShay do it. Now CBS Sports has their mock draft, and they have them taking Eason. I almost guarantee they do not take a quarterback in the second round.
I would be stunned by it. I'll say it right now. Once everything is safe and clear out there, where did Eason go to school? Washington, Bob? Is that right?
Washington,
is he University of Washington?
Yep.
I'll put a Husky suit on and walk to Seattle if they draft Jacob Eason for charity in the second round. There's no way.
Yeah, I like that.
There's zero chance that happens. I will caution you, though, Richie. Kevin Colbert also said that he loved their tight ends, Vance McDonald, Zach Gentry. We believe in those guys. And then they signed Eric Ebron. So sometimes he tries to throw you off the scent there, and there's a little red herring going on. But all their moves are for now, Bob. You said it. They trade for Minka Fitzpatrick. They want to win now. They trade up to get Devin Bush. It's to fill a hole now. They restructure deals. It's about now. And Jacob Eason would be about 2 or 3 years from now. No, the Steelers aren't going to do that.
All right, we have plenty more stuff coming up. We'll talk about football without fans. We'll also talk about 2 more playoff teams. Is that something these guys like or dislike? But first, I want to say to you that it's exciting when a team moves into a new building. That's certainly true when the team at number 1 Cochran Hyundai South Hills and their spacious new facility, even though they moved only less than a mile up the street. Right now, for a limited time, get special grand opening offers in both sales and service. It's the new number 1 Cochran Hyundai South Hills, now conveniently located at 3220 West Liberty Avenue. More Steeler Talk next. The number 1 Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by number 1 Cochran, Go One Better, and by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Have a greater hand in your health.